Croeso, welcome back to Cottage Diary. It's lovely to have you back in the garden again, friends. It is the 25th of April, and yet again the garden has changed so much, and there are so many things in flower this year that are not usually in flower till at least the beginning of May. So we're very, very far ahead in the garden. So I'll show you the things that I'm particularly loving and see what you think. This is a lovely white honesty that I started growing from seed a couple of years ago, and now I don't have to sow them anymore. They just come back year after year. We get so many plants year after year, and they smell amazing at night because night flying moths particularly love them. But as you can see, I can't see what sort of bee it is from here, some sort of bee that's loving them as well, and they really sort of glow in the evening light. And this combination here is just completely making my heart sing. So these three are all natives, well in fact four if you count the forget-me-nots. So we've got lots of forget-me-nots, and then this here is bugle, which is like a purple forest of food for little flies and bees. Let me step back a bit and show you. I took this, my first gardening job was for a local pub, and all of this bugle, there was lots of bugle growing in the lawn, and part of my job was to mow the lawn, and I used to keep saying to them, oh, let me dig some of this up and put it in the border because it's just so pretty. And they would always say, don't be so silly, it's just a weed, just mow it down. So I took a little bit of it to bring home because it was such a waste to get rid of it. And look at it, it's absolutely stunning, but it's particularly lovely in conjunction with these. So the yellow is marsh marigold or king cup, so that's living happily in the pond. And then this lovely plant just in front of it are water ravens, so they're related to the geum. You can see the leaf, it's very much like a geum leaf, and they're just so pretty. I love the dark purple stems and the whole combination. It's just lovely. And the red campion have just started flowering. Again, a British native, and one that I wouldn't be without. It just makes the garden for me at this time of year. So pretty and stunning with the bugle. And I told you that I would talk about some of the other tulips I was growing. This one is Queen of the Night. In fact, for some reason on camera it looks a different colour. Hang on. It's actually I don't know why it's looking different on camera. It's actually a very, very dark purpley black colour. And I love that. I'm obviously a inner goth because I love having dots of black in the garden. I think it's a lovely foil for the pastel colours. And then in with this pot, this is gorgeous. This is called an Ophaeon, and it's Alberto Castilla. And it's so unusual. The pollinators absolutely love it. But it's really odd because the flowers smell of, if you're British, you'll know the smell of cola bottle sweets. But the leaves smell of garlic. So it's a really unusual plant, and I really like the contrast of the black tulips and the white ephaeon. And this is one of my other favourite tulips in the garden. It's called Mistress Mystic. And again, it's got a real iridescence to it. It's sort of lilac-y purple with some pink and some peach and some green and some grey. It's really, really unusual. And at different times, I'll turn around so you can see the different colours. At different times of the day and in different positions in the garden, it looks completely different. So I am really rather pleased with that. But I did take out, I showed you some salmon pink ones last time you're here. I did decide to take those out because actually they had sent me the wrong variety. The variety that I had chosen, which was supposed to be apricot, was supposed to be a really, really pale apricot. And that was obviously a bright salmon pink, so I've taken those out. But I am pleased with this one. I've got this very sweet, just very simple, pale primrose yellow tulip called World Friendship. I chose it for the name, really. I thought it was a lovely name, and it does look really pretty in the border. I'm rather liking this combination. So we've got the GM Mai Tai, that's the peachy colour here. And then we've got Anthriscus sylvestris ravenswing. Hasn't started flowering yet, but that's a cow parsley, or Queen Anne's lace, some people call it. So it has that lovely white umbellifer flower. But this is a black form, so it's so stunning. I absolutely love it. I've got a few of them in the garden. And so, yeah, obviously you can see the leaves are worth planting it in your garden for alone. But when this black stem comes and the pretty white frothy flower, it's absolutely spectacular. And then we've got, that's another Queen of the Night, which again is looking very red on this. It's much more sort of purpley black. And then this is the mountain cornflower here, just starting to flower, which is so sweet. Another British native here. This is sweet woodruff, this little white flower here. You can make tea with it, actually. Very unassuming, but the bees love it, and it is very sweet. For me, it's always a special time of year when the Aquilegia vulgaris start to come out. So these are all British natives, and they do like to sort of hybridize, and so you get lots of different colours. So this is a beautiful, beautiful palest lilac pink, and then there's another one that's the same colour. Just there's this one, which is a much brighter pink, or it is on the outside, and then the inside is a bit paler. It's a beautiful dark purple one, and look at that stem as well. Like, oh, they are fairy flowers. And there's this one that's a mix. So there's some very dark purple bits and then some different shades of pink, and I love how it looks next to the comfrey here. I love comfrey. So pretty. So this is the falling down shed that you will have seen in lots of other garden tours. So this is currently what it looks like, and I'm hoping by the end of the summer I might be able to show you a lovely new shed. Look, it's just a dumping ground. It's completely, the floor's completely falling apart, and we've just been storing logs for cutting in here. But yeah, as I showed you before, this would be the view from here, which isn't too shabby, I don't think. So yes, I will definitely keep you up to date. If I can film the process, then I will, but the guy doing it for me may not want to be on film, but I will definitely give you a tour when it's done. Look at the Clematis montana on the fence. I haven't been able to find out if it's good for wildlife. I don't think it is particularly, but it's one of the very rare things in the garden that I grow for me, just for me really, because I just love it. Little yellow flower is yellow pimpernel, British native. It's just closed up because the weather isn't great. Oh, look at my crab apple. Absolutely beautiful blossom. This is a pink lilac that's just about to come into flower. It goes very nicely with the Mistress Mystic tulip, doesn't it? This is Totally Tangerine. I'm not really a huge bright orange fan, to be honest, but I don't have it in the garden for me. I have it in the garden for the pollinators because it will flower from, well, here anyway, from January to October. It's unbelievable. So if you care about wildlife, it's a great one to have. This is Scabious Butterfly Blue. It's only just coming out this year for some reason. It was out, I think, in March last year, so I don't know why it's later coming out, but it's always a welcome sight because, again, this is a plant that will just keep on flowering once it starts. So it's brilliant if you can only have a few plants. Definitely choose this and Totally Tangerine. Another plant that I would recommend if you've only got a window box or a few pots and want to help wildlife. This is the wallflower Bowls Mauve, and yeah, it is a bit slow here this year. Again, the one in the front of the cottage has been blooming literally every month. It was flowering in December and January as well. This, for some reason, is a little bit slower to get going. It's a little bit shadier by here. But again, the wildlife love it, and it does keep on flowering. It really is worth the money. And just above it, very exciting. Can you see the flower spikes coming? This is my Iris sibirica. Now, last year, the naughty slugs and snails crept up each stem and nibbled the stem just by here, so that every flower head just collapsed, so they didn't get to flower on this side of the garden anyway. So I'm really hoping that they'll be kind to me this year and will let me enjoy the buds and the flowers because they are stunning. Look at this foxglove. I mean, nature does things much better than I ever could. Look at that foxglove growing in the stone wall. I mean, if I even attempted to put a plant there, it would die instantly. But look at it, enormous foxglove, and there's a flower spike on it. I have never had rose buds like this in April before. Every bush has got loads. It's incredible. And I plan probably June, though the way this season's going, it might be May. I'm planning to do a video on you for my favourite roses that I grow, and they're my favourites, either because they're the best for wildlife. Well, they have to all be the best for wildlife, but also a lot of them are very long flowering. So yeah, look out for that well, it might be May at this rate, May or June anyway. I'll be doing a video on my top, I don't know, it'll probably be top 5 or something, favourite roses. But yeah, I've got some absolute beauties in the garden. I am lucky. I wish you were here, my friends, because the smell in the garden is amazing. Oh, actually, it just reminds me, I haven't shown you the night scented stock, but the garden just smells. It's not night scented stock. What's it called? Hesperus, Dame's Violet. Is it? No, Sweet Rocket. Yeah, is the other name for it. Yeah, my Sweet Rocket, which for some reason is a perennial. They're normally biennials, but I've got a perennial one that I've had at least 10 years, which smells amazing. Again, lovely for moths, night moths, and the honesty that I showed you smells lovely. And all the blossom, my crab apples are in blossom, my cherries, my apple trees, the damsons. The smell is just intoxicating. This is the Dame's Violet, or Sweet Rocket. This is all of it. It's got lots and lots of flower buds to come, but there's only one that's fully in flower. Oh, it smells absolutely wonderful. I think the flash might be coming on. It's such a dark day. It's very odd. But yeah, this is such a lovely plant, and I don't know why it's perennial, because as I say, it's meant to just grow its leaves one year, flower the next year, and then set seed and disappear. But this, in fact, it's bigger than it's ever been. It's huge. And this is the kitchen and apothecary garden at the end of April. It's looking very full, which is lovely. Got lots of seedlings on the go, lots of vegetables. But I brought you in to try and show you how the peaches are coming on. Oh, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. There's one. They're doing really well. I'm hoping they won't get as much fruit drop this year. But I'm trying to water really consistently. There's another one. And I've already got my home sown tomatoes and basil planted in the greenhouse. And this is just some sheep's wool that I found on bits of barbed wire when I've been going for walks. I just collect it just to, it's quite moisture retentive, and it can help with slugs eating your plants. And as I've said in a previous video, a lot of the plants that you can see are either edible or medicinal in here, or most of them. So yeah, it's very full of things that we can actually use, as well as looking pretty and being great for wildlife. And this is one of our native poppies. This is commonly called the Welsh poppy, or Papaver cambrica. Just the orange ones are out so far. They always come out earlier than the yellow. Some little person is our wild pansy, Heart's Ease it's called. commonly. Isn't that sweet? So that's a native as well. And for some reason it will only grow in this one little corner of the garden. I've tried spreading it, it doesn't like it anywhere else but here. You see how many blueberries we've got coming already? So many, it's going to be a good year I think for blueberries here. And I'm so pleased to see these here. These are wild leeks, which I put in a couple of years ago, but last year the slugs ate them down to nothing. But I've still got half of them left, so I'm really, really pleased to have those. I've got my shallot bed here, which needs a good weed, and I've interplanted with carrots. Carrots don't really seem to like my ground though, so they never do brilliantly, but we'll see. And then strawberries. I've already got a lot of flowers on them, so hopefully we'll get a lot of fruit. And the rhubarb. The rhubarb is enormous. We've already had lots and lots of rhubarb and given it away to friends. It's absolutely incredible. I've decided that, because I was thinking, what can we do with all this rhubarb? There's only so much rhubarb pie and rhubarb crumble that you want. And I decided that I'll make some fruit leathers. If I do that, then I will obviously share it with you, my friends. And then, oh, this is what I'm most pleased about in the kitchen garden. The asparagus, can you see them? I'm so pleased because again the slugs destroyed them last year and I was worried they had damaged the plants, but they obviously haven't, not too much anyway. Lovely purple sprouting broccoli.
So tasty.
Yeah, we'll have it for lunch. Oh, a view, just lovely. Yeah, homegrown is so much better. This will probably be our last picking, won't it? I would have thought.
Yeah, they're starting to bolt a bit now.
Yeah, but still, that's
It's been a good harvest.
That's a lovely amount, isn't it? Young. And this beautiful flower is my kale. I love letting my kale and my broccoli over there. There's my broccoli over there go to seed. And flower and seed, I should say, because the bees and the butterflies, they just love it. And it's so jolly when there's not that much else going on colour-wise in the kitchen garden. It's so pretty. Look at that. I just think it's stunning. I mean, you could put that in a vase, couldn't you? And here I've got my peas. This is the, oh, I shouldn't really speak too soon, but because the slugs were so prolific last year, then I invested in these. I'd been told by my acupuncturist actually that she found these to be very good because there's a lip, then the slugs, they can go to a certain point, but then they can't sort of turn back on themselves. It's too slippy. So yeah, they were quite successful last year. So I've put them around my peas again this year because otherwise they would have been eaten overnight. And then this is my garlic with the calendula that came back, which I'm really happy about. And then that's the broccoli and some more kale in flower. Just want to revel in the beauty that is my asparagus for a moment. Oh, I'm so excited. I mean, we could have taken a little crop this year, but because it had been eaten by slugs last year, then I just want to get it super healthy before we eat anything. And this is all the orchard. So it's full of black currants and gooseberry flowers at the moment, which the bees and wasps are feeding on. And then for here, very early, the cherry trees have been in flower. In fact, they're going over. And even the apple trees, I mean, they're in flower, but they're also starting to fade. And as you can see, it's underplanted with wildflowers. It's absolutely teeming with wildflowers. Now, I gave you a sneak peek of the view from up here in my last tour, my March tour. But this is an area that I bought during the COVID lockdown in 2021. And it's what we call our wild wood. Sorry, I'm out of breath because it's really steep and I fell over during a tumpath, a Welsh folk dance, and bruised my ribs. So, but this I've been spending I spent the last 4 years trying to create a woodland. When I bought this, it was all Ponticum rhododendron, which is a non-native, very invasive species here in Wales, particularly here in the Snowdonia National Park. It's a real issue. Bracken and bramble. Now, bracken and bramble are native, so I still allow swathes of that, but the Ponticum rhododendron had to go. It's not good for bees and it poisons the area around it. Yeah, as I was saying, sorry. It poisons the area, the air, the ground around it. So nothing else will grow. So when I bought this bit of land, you couldn't walk here at all. As I say, it was just all the invasive rhododendron, the bracken, the brambles. So I had to sort of cut a path and things. And I've planted over 100 wildflowers here and over 24 species of native shrubs and trees. So this is a lovely example here. This is a Gelder rose or cramp bark that you can use medicinally as well. We've put in another little pond, and even though it's tiny, we have newts in it, which is just lovely. And I've planted hundreds of native bluebells. So Hyacinthoides, sorry about the car going past, Hyacinthoides non-scripta, so it's the British bluebell, and Britain, the British Isles have, I think it's something like 70% of the world's population of this particular bluebell, and my dream was always to have a bluebell wood. Now, we're not there yet, but I don't know if the camera's picking it up. But there's starting to be a slight blue haze. I also added the moss. There wasn't even moss here. I mean, I haven't added all of this. This is now multiplied over the few years, but I just love it here. So this is completely for wildlife. I've left a big pile of branches there, which may look a bit scruffy. Oh, and a huge amount of bramble. That's all bramble there. Ooh. Ooh. That's all bramble there. Yeah, left a huge amount of bramble there. And so many birds nest in all of those branches and the bramble. But I'm so excited because literally this was just all, as I say, bramble and things. There were no flowers, there was no moss. There was no bird song really, because there wasn't really much for them. It was quite a dead space. And I've been a bit silly. I didn't bring my, what do you call it, gizmo for sort of holding the phone. So I'm sorry if it's a bit bumpy, because I'm going up uneven steps that Daisy and I laid, but I don't know if you can get a feel for how magical it is. And then, so basically our wild wood that we've created or in the process of creating leads, we put in a little gate up there that then leads through to an old beech woodland, and then you go through the old beech woodland and you're on the side of the mountain, and that's full of wild cherries and gorse, which is just beautiful. And we had planned to take you up there. We normally do dawn chorus walks at this time of year, but Daisy is so busy with her exams coming up next week. Hang on. Oh, can you hear the little lamps? This is our little fairy oak here, the fairy door. The problem is it's sometimes hard to pick up the atmosphere of a place. So yes, if you walk up through this woodland, you get to the mountain. This is a lovely little place to sit. If we sit this way, we've got woodland. And if we turn around, we've got the view of the mountains and the old bridge and the river. So are you mountain people? Are you sea people? Are you river people? Or are you woodland people? Because I think, yeah, my favourite place in nature is a woodland, and particularly a bluebell wood. And that's what I'm trying to create here. I'm definitely, yeah, my heart's definitely in the woods at all times of year, but particularly for me when the bluebells are out, and in the autumn when the colours are beautiful and there are fungi. And the smell from a British bluebell is incomparable. It's so lovely. I mean, it obviously is still a work in progress. It isn't absolutely full of wildflowers as I plan, but compared to what it was, I wish I'd taken photographs, before and after photographs. It's quite frustrating because, yeah, well, that you wouldn't even be able to stand where I'm standing. So, but as I said, I have left a lot of bramble still because it is still a good habitat. But basically there was a monoculture here now, and now there are so many different shrubs, trees and wildflowers. Let me know what you think. I'll just take a walk down here. As I say, I'm sorry if it's really bumpy. I don't think the phone likes it. It's shuttering, I think. Maybe I'll keep stopping and starting, I think. So this is the view down to the kitchen garden from my wildwood. Here I've put in a little clump of native lily of the valley, if you can see. I'll go a bit closer. I'm really hoping that they like it here and take off, because that would be so pretty and smell amazing. Pair of blue tits in this little nest here. Very sweet. Really looking down on the orchard. And this is a bank again full of wildflowers that I've put in. and moss. Ooh, I hope it isn't too bumpy. The red campion's just getting going. And I love, hang on a sec, I'll stop the camera. Lovely white Herb Robert. So unusual, I love it. I showed you a white Herb Robert earlier. This is the more usual pink Herb Robert. But aren't they pretty wildflowers? I love them in the garden. I think they're just as decorative as anything you'd buy in the garden centre. It's quite a misty day today, actually. And this is just the loveliest place to sit and have a meal. I'm going to sit down here and show you how it feels to sit here. And on a hot day when the leaves are fully on all of the trees, it's several degrees cooler than the garden because this is a south-facing slope, so it can get very, very hot. But because I have so many trees, then yeah, in the summer they all sort of create a tunnel, a green tunnel here, and it's a beautifully cool place to eat a meal with a beautiful view. Absolutely love it. And I have honeysuckle scrambling through the undergrowth. We've actually had evidence of dormice here. Daisy, I used to be as well, but Daisy's on a dormouse handling licence because obviously they're very rare, so you have to have a licence to be able to handle them. And we've seen hazelnuts that have obviously been eaten by dormice on our wild wood, which is incredibly exciting. And they make their nests out of branches of honeysuckle. They weave them. And this is a buckthorn here, not a particularly amazing looking tree or large shrub, but the brimstone butterfly feeds on it, and we do have brimstone butterflies, so I've put in 3 in this wild space. I need to invest in a better camera because this bank is full of red campion and it's only picking up the occasional one. It's very odd. Well, it's only a camera on a phone, but yeah, I'm surprised at how much it doesn't pick up. But I hope you get the feeling of the atmosphere, and I hope it brings you some peace. I know that some people are really struggling at the moment. Lovely comfrey. So vibrant, isn't it? And I love this broom. I grew it from seed. This is a British native shrub as well. And you can just see, I mean, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of flowers for wildlife on this. Hang on, this is really steep by here. I'm so sorry. I hope you're still enjoying it, even though it's a bit bumpy. It's just, I mean, you can see all of them to come. Such a good plant for wildlife. And it's a good one to have in the orchard as well, because obviously it attracts the pollinators to where you need them. I can't believe that the hawthorn is out, otherwise known as whitethorn or the May, because quite often on the 1st of May, on May Day, or Callan Harv, Beltane, whatever you want to call it, quite often the May hasn't actually come out yet here. So the fact that it's already out and has been for about a week here in Wales, or here in my part of Wales, is astonishing. There's something about the shape and the angles of this garden that makes it very hard to film landscape. It's much better to film it portrait, so I find it quite difficult to capture the essence of the garden for YouTube. I've come back to sit in the scruffy old shed just to have a little chat. So lots of plants in flower, in blossom, but lots still to come as well. The alliums are about to open, the iris iberica, so many things. So every day is an exciting journey out into the garden. I know that quite a lot of you wanted a book recommendation video, and we're also looking forward to seeing Daisy on a book video and on an adventure. We haven't been able to do anything, unfortunately. Daisy is so busy studying. She has exams next week, her final exams for Oxford University, if you don't know. But I will carry on with the garden tours. Daisy will come home for a few days after her exams, and hopefully we will get to go and visit some other lovely gardens. Well, I say we, it may just end up being me. I will talk through, lots of people have been asking about books that we've recommended, or rather not recommended, books that we've said we're going to be reading in autumn, winter, whatever. People have been asking for feedback on whether or not we actually enjoyed some of those books. So we will be doing, well, it might just be me actually, but with feedback from Daisy, letting you know what we thought of them and whether we think they're worth reading. And then I want to do a book recommendation for sort of May and June. So keep an eye out for that. Let me know what you think of the garden. As always, let me know what's going on in your garden. I'm such a garden fan. I absolutely love hearing about other people's gardens. I really hope that life is treating you well, and look forward to seeing you back in the garden next month. But also, please pop in for a cup of tea and we'll have a little chat about books, and if I go to gardens and things, I will gladly take you along with me rather. Bye for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you've lasted this long, then I'm very impressed. And you may be inclined to like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it if you do like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification, just so you never miss an exciting episode of Cottage Diary. Bye.